see this membrane that's on this clam? Okay, it's attached to this shell, so it comes off with the clam. Main thing, stop the cooking process. And I don't do a whole limit at a time. It's usually too much of a shock in the water, and you have to let it sit in there too long. And then you're cooking the clams. So I usually do 6 clams. So that's just pops, they pop off. See this one here didn't quite pop off, which is fine. As long as this shell has cracked that much, that's all you need. So this guy is, you just take your little Perry knife and take it off.
So you've done this a few times?
See my hands? Still holds a beer bottle though. All right. Well, you're just Johnny on the spot there, man. All right. So like I said, you just said it. It doesn't take much at all. Now in the can, there's lots of ice in there. And that's probably the hardest thing, or not the hardest, but it's cold. So we'll recycle those back down to the beach.
Do you just throw them back on the beach, or like?
Yeah, just throw them back on the beach.
Okay.
Or you can crush them up and put them in your garden.
Right.
Either one. All right. We'll probably turn that valve there.
You just turned the tank all the way off for me. Thank you.
All right. So the ideal situation is to have. I'm going to show you 2 different ways of doing it. Like I said, overcooking it is the worst thing you can do. The end result here, whatever implement you use, it makes no difference. The end result is you want a clean clam. So you can use scissors, you use a Perry knife, you use a combination of the 2. However you like doing it. So I will start with the Perry knife first. So Randy's already got you all flustered. So you take the digger, you cut the digger off.
I did that correctly.
All right.
So far, so good.
Like I said, some people will go up this way, start inside. With the Perry knife, I turn it over and I take the digger out, or the gut bag out. Okay? Just sharp Perry knife. You can do a little squeeze there if you want to get it out. And it really helps to maybe do like a pre-clean and then go to the sink and do a final clean. Running water, it makes a world of difference. The problem with running water, most running water isn't right here. It's here. And it's like, oh. So it's, my wife and I clean clams. Somebody will do 15. Somebody will do this, pass them off, and they do the final clean.
Yep.
And then after 15, we'll swap off because then your back is.
And how many 6-packs do you go through?
No, don't do that one. That's afterwards. Okay, all right. So I cut the digger, got the gut bag. There's 2 channels in here. You got to zip those guys open. Okay. Now you got a set of lungs in here, and I'm just going to use my Perry knife. Use it just like you would any Perry knife. And I'm going to take those lungs out of there. Now I'm going to open up the digger. See, basically the lungs are gone here. We'll do a final little cleanup with our running water. But the only thing left here is the digger. Okay?
All one piece.
Exactly. It's
Well, it looks like one piece.
It's all one piece. How long long has it been since you've been on a whipping post? Probably been a long time, hasn't it?
That's the way I was taught.
I know, that's just like digging with a gun or digging with a shovel.
Yeah.
It's how you're taught. I'll butcher a clam every time I do a gun, but I was taught with a shovel. So I just cut this guy open. I cut this digger open here, and I just doing the same thing. I'm just cleaning this stuff out. This is where your running water comes in. Really nice. It's just you can, because these little pieces just, they run off instead of having to pick at them. All right. So for the most part,
Oh, wow.
for the most part, this is a cleaned razor clam. Okay. The digger's open. He's all laid out. And this skirt, this doesn't happen very often in the real world. This is a perfect razor clam. So this is, you would want this little membrane attached, okay? If you're going to fry your clams. If you're going to chop them up and make chowder, or you're going to make clam fritters and everything, it doesn't make any difference whether this membrane is attached or not. The nice thing about this, when they're like this, is you have your whatever you're doing, your Krusty's pancake mix, your Pride of the West, your egg, whatever, you can get that in there, egg, whatever you're doing, you get it out, and you can get that patted in there. And when that comes out fried, it's a nice fried razor clam. So
So you can eat that membrane part, the dark part, you can eat that? In the middle?
this,
membrane?
well, you cut 99% of the. Now I'm going to do them with the scissors also, and you'll see it's completely gone. Okay, and you've got just no little bits of anything. You know, I've been eating razor clams for a lot of years. I don't have much of a problem with it. But all right, let's do another. We'll do another one with a knife. Okay, we're going to nip off the neck. We're going to get the gut bag out of there. We're going to open up the neck. And we're going to take the lungs. The thing about a Perry knife is that it doesn't stay sharp very long when you're using it. This sand and grit and everything, it really. So I open up that neck or that digger, and I got like my middle finger right where I originally cut this hole out. I've flipped them over, and I've got my middle finger right there, and it kind of shoves all that up instead of having to dig down inside of a hole. And I'm just going around and digging that, taking that stuff off. You don't want to take all this off. This kind of like, it's like fat. A lot of people want to scrape that all off of there. So. All right. Running water makes a world of difference. And it's not near as cold as an ice bath either. So anyways, there we go again. We got a clam with the skirt all attached and everything, and that makes a nice frying clam. So ideally for frying. So that's a Perry knife. A pair of scissors are a little bit easier, a little bit quicker, I think. But what ends up happening is you end up not getting this perfect clam. At least I don't. My wife does it, but so nip that off like a V, okay, and then the gut bag comes out. Open this up. Open that up. And the nice thing about it with a pair of scissors, you can trim that all off there. It trims off relatively easy. This is the hard part with scissors, is now you've got your hand here and you're like, how do I scrape this off? It's a not, you're basically using it's just scraping, you're not cutting the stuff off. Running water again.
Can you use warm water?
I wouldn't, no.
You still would.
No.
Cool
No.
water.
Yep, I would just use the water coming out of the tap.
You indicated that you prefer clam shovels rather than clam guns. Why is that?
That's what I learned on. You know, I learned how to raise. They didn't even have clam guns when I started. You know, digging. Well, at least I didn't know they did. You know, my dad didn't give me one. Let's put it that way. You're gonna learn that way, okay?
Well, you are
Don't
old,
break
aren't
that shell.
You are old, aren't you?
Yeah. Well, when you go down the beach and everything, and somebody sees you digging with a gun, with a shovel and everything, they go, "Oh, you're a native, aren't you?" Well, yeah, I guess so. All right, so for the most part, you know, we don't have a skirt. Our end result is the same. Okay, we have a clean clam. It's just a different way of going about it. You know, so I mean, I don't fry clams a whole lot. I make fritters. I don't make a lot of chowder out of them. Razor clams are very, very mild clam flavored. So I don't, it takes a lot of razor clams to make a clammy clam chowder. To me, it's a lot of.
Thank you.
Alrighty.